Alright, what's up everybody, back with some more Mega Strikers. I got a brand new Striker tier list with the launch of Season 2. Season 2 has been out for about 2 weeks now. Been kind of seeing where a lot of the Strikers have kind of been falling into where they've kind of belong in the game. And we also got like a mini patch as well, which I kind of wanted to wait for, with a few other minor balance changes to a few of the Strikers about a week ago. So apart from that, we also got a brand new Striker called Kazan added to the game with this season launch, so I will be talking about him as well. Apart from that, I'm also going to be doing two lists. The first list for this video, like the first half of this video, is going to be for all the Strikers in the game and how they rank as a forward. And then the second half of this list is going to be just mainly all the Strikers and how they play as goalie. So apart from that, let's get right into this. Keep in mind this tier list is going to be for your like lower to mid tier ranks and for solo queue, not your top 500s or your really high tier ranks, or if you're like in a duo or a 3 stack, because a lot of the Strikers are better if you're playing in a party. It's going to be mainly for solo queue, so keep that in mind from your lower to mid tiers if you do want to rank up some of the better stuff. So apart from that, if you guys like these videos, leave a like, subscribe, share the video. And a lot of you guys that watch these videos are not even subscribed to the channel. I think like 80-something% of you guys that watch these tier list videos are not subscribed. So if you guys are not subscribed, and if you are new, please go down below and hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it, and you're missing out on a bunch of content if you do not subscribe. So apart from that, I'll throw the list on screen for you guys right now. We got S tier. This is the stuff that is the best of the best. This is the stuff you're going to be banning almost every game, and the stuff that you're going to be wanting to must pick almost every single game. A+ is the really good stuff. A tier is average. B is kind of below average. C is getting to be more situational. D tier is almost borderline useless, apart from maybe on a few certain maps. And then F tier is like the really awful garbage stuff that you're never going to be playing, which, spoiler, there's not a single Striker in the entire game that is F tier, which is, I guess, good balance wise. So apart from that, I'm going to start off with Kazan. I actually do not have a picture of Kazan on here because this tier list is not updated, but I should throw one in at least right now or sometime during this video, at least when I'm talking about him. Throw him on this list. If I were to rank Kazan as a forward, I'd probably put him in like A tier. Kazan, if you guys do not know, he's the newest Striker to the game. He got added with the Season 2 launch. He is a Striker that doesn't really have like an ultimate. It's pretty much what it is. He's a stance switcher kind of Striker where he has 2 different stances, and then like each of his abilities gets different effects and does slightly different stuff depending on what stance he's kind of in. He's more of a higher type skill Striker. He also already got nerfed as well with about a micro patch about a week ago, at least when we're recording this. They nerfed his cooldowns, I think, on like 2 or 3 of his abilities already by like 1 or 2 seconds. So he already got nerfed. I think he's a little bit more of a higher skill cap type Striker, and the reason why I'm putting him as an A tier for a forward is mainly because he's still new, and a lot of people are still learning him. I've had a decent amount of Kazans in my ranked games that don't really know what they're doing, and half the time they're kind of just there and they don't really do anything. I think once people actually start learning him, I think he's going to be a lot better, but as of right now, I'd probably throw Kazan into A tier. Up next, we got Feeney. Feeney keeps getting buffed. I'm going to put Feeney in A+ tier. Feeney on release was not too good, and she just keeps getting buffed. With a mini patch as well, they actually buffed her, I think it's her primary, or like whatever her lion type ability is. They buffed the projectile speed slightly again, and they also increased the projectile size on that ability. So, and then she just keeps getting buffed. I think every little like micro patch and like for every major patch, she's gotten some significant cooldown buffs or like quality of life changes. I think the only thing she's missing out on is her ult is uncontrollable. I think if they somehow make a way to where you can actually control the core when you throw down her ult and the core gets trapped inside her ult, I think if you're able to control it, that's when she becomes really, really good. Until that happens though, her ult's kind of really random and you can't really make plays off it because you don't know where the core is really going to go. And if you use it for damage, you don't really get as much value out of it because a lot of people like to run away and run out of it pretty fast. So that's kind of the main problem with it right now. Otherwise, I think Feeney's really good. I think if you guys want a really fun Striker that's pretty new to use, pick up Feeny because she just keeps getting buffed, and she's way better than she was, especially over the last few micro patches and major patches that the game's had. Aimee's S tier, really easy to play, does really solid. A lot of people know how to play her because she's one of the OG strikers in the game. She's getting banned the majority of your games. Just overall really solid striker for the game. Like, there's nothing that's really changed about her. It's incredibly good. I think Asher's A+ tier. As a forward, she's decent. I'll probably put her A+ tier, mainly as like more of like an aggressive bully type forward. Atlas as a forward, I think, is a C tier. I don't think he's as good. I think he's more map situational, and there's a lot better options over in Atlas right now. I think he's also better as goalie most of the time. Tricar is A tier. Just completely average, just probably one of the most average, balanced strikers in the entire game. Nothing with him has really changed. Dubu as a forward, I probably put him as an A tier. He can work, but I just think there's a lot better forwards, and I think he's just way better as a goalie, like 99% of the time. Era, I'd probably put like a B tier. The problem with Era is she's just way too passive. If you do not have a team that you can actually buff and take advantage of her buffing abilities, she's kind of just there, and she either gets bullied out real easy by some of the more aggressive strikers, or she just has nobody to really make plays with, and she's kind of just there, and she's kind of a useless striker. At that point, you're better off just picking a lot of other stuff. Don't get me wrong though, if you are not solo queuing in like a 2 or a 3 stack, I think Era on like any stack with like any team comp is really good. But just considering you're solo queuing when you're leaving your matchmaker to be random and put like random people on your team, it's really hit or miss whether you get decent people that actually take advantage of your abilities, or you're just there and you don't really do anything. Estelle, I think Estelle's really good. I'm putting Estelle at an A+ tier, really solid. Nothing with her's really changed since the last time I did a tier list. By the way, as well, I will link my last tier list for the game at the end of the video, so if you guys want to go over to that list and kind of compare that one to this one. It is a bit older, but a lot of stuff hasn't really changed, so... Or there is some stuff that hasn't really changed. You guys want to go check that out as well if you missed that one. Juliet is S tier. Crazy good. Really good. I think the only downside with Juliet is her early game kind of sucks. I think once you get like 1 or 2 items online, or if you're able to get a little bit of a level advantage over the enemy team, like a 1 or 2 level advantage, that's when she starts doing crazy damage and she just starts doing her job really well. Juno, S tier. Juno is going to be an S tier until they rework her. She is a striker that needs to be entirely reworked. They've tried to balance her I don't know how many times already, and she's just like impossible to balance. I think she needs an entire rework. If there was one striker in the game that needs to be reworked with like the next major patch or sometime in the near future, it is Juno. They do not know how to balance her, and if anything, they actually keep buffing her for some reason. I don't know why. She is a striker that pretty much is brain dead, and you're going to be seeing her banned every single game. The main reason why is mainly just because she just plays the game for yourself. All of her abilities play the game for you. You don't really even need to know how to do anything. All of her abilities do their job for you. Like, you just don't really even need to do anything. She's a legend she's a striker that just plays the game for you pretty much, and she takes no skill. Kai is a forward. I just think there's better options. I think he's A tier though. Not bad, not crazy. Luna, really skill dependent. I think if you're really good with her, you can probably say she's higher on this list. I'm going to put her at a B tier though. And just mainly because she's really skill dependent. Octavia, I think, is really good. I'm going to put her at an A+ tier. Just for the main reason though is that she is kind of more dependent on items. If you're able to get some really good items, especially at the start of the game or like after round 1 or 2, then she starts really getting like a snowball going and she's able to carry a game. Apart from that though, if you're not able to get a lot of items, or if you get your items that you want that get sniped from you, or your awakenings or whatever, that's the problem she has. Otherwise, she's still really good. Ramus, really map situational. The only time you're going to be seeing him is on Aimee's app, and apart from that, you're not going to be really seeing him that much. Same with Ruin. I think Ruin as a forward is just not that good. I'll put him in B tier, but like if you're really skilled with him, you can do decent. But apart from that, I just don't think he's that good. There's just so many better options right now. Vice, I'm going to put it in A tier. I think she got nerfed again recently too with, I think, the launch of Season 2. I think she got a bit of a nerf. I think it was either to her ult or I think it was to one of her abilities. I think they increased the cooldown or the projectile speed or something. I don't know why. I don't know why they nerfed her. She wasn't really that crazy, like on release. They keep giving her small nerfs for no reason, and she kind of just is kind of mellowing out and just falling into like the mid tiers of the game. She used to be better than Estelle, and now I think Estelle is actually a better like mid to long range striker than she is now, which kind of sucks. X I think is really good. I think X is still crazy. I think he needs to be nerfed again. He's kind of in the same vein of like a Juliet. I'll probably put them both together. Like if they have a really bad like round 1 or round 2 and they don't get their items, they kind of fall off a bit. But if you're able to get some really good items and you're able to start getting a level advantage over the enemy team, you just start snowballing. You just roll enemy lobbies. It's just crazy. He rolls games. It's crazy how good X is. And then you got Zentaro. I think Zentaro right now is probably A+ tier. He got a few nerfs, but I still think he's crazy, especially like mid to late game. I think he's really, really good. Nothing with him's really changed since last patch, though. He got some slight cooldown nerfs, and that's about all he really have, but that didn't really matter too much. So, there you have it, everybody. That is the list for forwards. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I will be right back. I'm going to reset this list, and then we're going to rank all the strikers again for goalie. So, I'll be right back. We're back. Now I'm going to be ranking all the strikers for goalie, so keep that in mind for the second half of the tier list. First, I'll be talking about Kazan. I think Kazan as a goalie is not good. I'd probably put him at like a B or a C tier. I just don't think he's that good. I think he's more of has a kit and a play style that you're going to be wanting for like a forward striker, not as a goalie, and just way better options for goalies, and you just don't want to be playing Kazan as a goalie. I don't think he's that good. Maybe somebody will prove me wrong once people start getting really good at him, but at least from what I've seen so far, and at least from what I've played personally, it's just not that good. Next we got Feeney. Feeney as a goalie, I'd probably put like a B tier. Not really get that good. I think the main problem with her, she's just really situational. I think if you want to play her as a goalie, you got to land all your abilities, which is still really difficult to do, and she just doesn't have really the movement speed or the abilities to be able to like defend really well over a lot of other stuff that have like movement speed or like any types of movement abilities. I think that's the thing that's really holding her back. I don't know why you'd really play Feeney as a goalie anyways when she's way better as a forward too. So Aimee as a goalie can be A tier, just kind of average. Asher as a goalie I think is A+ tier. It works, but I don't think she's like one of the best ones in the game, but she's overall a really above average goalie. Not too bad. Atlas, I'd probably put an A+ tier. I think if you want to play Atlas, it's as a goalie right now. He's always been a better goalie than a forward. Nothing with that's really changed. Drakkar as a goalie is bad. Do not play him. D tier. Dubu has not changed at all. So it's going right to S tier. Still probably the top 3 best goalies in the entire game. Nothing with him's changed since last patch. Era goalie, not good. It's kind of the same tier as like Feeney, kind of the same thing, kind of the same reasons. Juliet, D tier. Amus, D tier. I'm just going to get rid of all these lower tier ones that you're never going to want to be playing as goalie because you're just throwing. Zentaro, X. I'll throw Vice into A tier because she can be a decent goalie, but I just think there's way better options for goalie. Juno, I'll probably put A tier. She has the kit that can make you be able to play goalie. It's just the only things you can actually do is if you can get some cooldown reduction awakenings, especially at the start of the game or like early on. Really helps her as well because her abilities for a goalie, with how much you need her abilities, they're kind of on a high cooldown, especially for playing that role. So she can work, but she's more awakening dependent, and it depends on how good you're doing at the start of the game. Estelle, I'd probably put it A+ tier. I think she's one of the better like mid to long range goalies if you know how to play her. Kai, still probably top 2 best goalies in the game. Still incredibly good. If you want to play Kai, he's still one of the best goalies in the game. Nothing with him's really changed at all. Rune, I'm going to put an A tier. I think on certain maps, Rune is actually pretty damn good, especially if you get some of the creation or like duration buff awakenings for like creation abilities with his portals and that type of thing. He also has a dash, which is decent for mobility. If you know how to play him on certain maps like Night Market and a few others that are kind of more smaller maps, he can work and he can do really well. Apart from that, I wouldn't really play him any higher, put him any higher on this list, or play him over some of the other stuff. Luna, I think, is more skill dependent, but I've seen some crazy good Luna goalies that are actually just like cracked at the striker and they know what they're doing down to a T. She can work, but she's really, really skill dependent. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're better off just playing a lot of other stuff. And then you got Octavia. I just don't think she's that good as a goalie. I really don't. I think she's pretty damn bad. I wouldn't say there's a single goalie in the entire game that's like an F tier. I really don't, because if you're good at something, you can maybe make them work, even like all the ones in like D tier. But there's just no reason to play a lot of the ones that are like in D tier, even like B tier and below most of the time. Apart from that, if you're wanting to ban goalies, I think the two ones that you should be banning the most right now are still going to be Dubu and Kai. If you're looking to ban goalies, banning both of those out, or even banning like one of them out, gives the enemy team a lot less options for goalie. It really does. And then a lot of people are either forced to go with like an Ash or an Atlas or even like an Estelle or some of the lower tier type stuff. So apart from that, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you say in the comments down below. Leave a like, subscribe, share the video. If these videos keep on doing well, I'll keep on bringing you guys new Omega Strikers tier lists for the future patches when there's major changes or new strikers or major stuff that happens with the game. So apart from that, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody.